If you're an Android user, the chances are you are using a Samsung Galaxy device, as they have been the #1 Android manufacturer for the longest period of time. And for the most part, they are the #1 phone manufacturer in the world. We would think with all that success, so they would be able to make more changes, more innovations with some of their devices. Or because of that success, they don't have to make many changes with their devices. They're expected to sell anyway. Well, that seems to be the case, that we've seen a lot of their new phones come out that have had the same specs for years and years and years. Same cameras, same batteries, same weight and thickness. We started to see some changes with the Z Fold lineup, but it looks like the Galaxy S26 lineup is not going to get many changes, especially for the base and the plus models. So in this video, guys, tag along with me as we take a look at some of the rumored specs for the Galaxy S26 lineup and take a look at what changes, if there are any, that Samsung is planning on making. But before we dive deep into all the information, if you're new to the channel and enjoy staying up to date with the latest tech news, you've landed at the right place. Do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit the like button if you enjoy these type of videos. All right, let's dive into this. This is an article out of Android Authority. The Samsung Galaxy S26 is already the worst phone of 2026. Now, that is the article title. I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment that this is the worst phone of 2026. But let's dive into why they are saying that in this article. They give a lot of reasons as to why this writer here thinks that that is the case for Samsung in 2026. The more we hear about the upcoming Galaxy S26 series, the more underwhelming this launch feels. For a second there, Samsung had all of us fooled with dreams of a refreshed lineup consisting of a new Galaxy S26 Pro, Edge, and the Ultra. Well, they tried the Galaxy 25 Edge. That did not do well, so they canceled that lineup. So it's back to the Pro, the base, and then the Ultra. So they did try something innovative, but it didn't work out well. So now they're just going to go back to the tried and true method, it seems like, with the S26 base, Plus, and then the Ultra. Since it was always part of the company's plans, but the S26 and S26 Plus are probably repackaged and unchanged from their S25 counterparts. We can take a look here at this first graph here. You can see here from the Galaxy S22 to the Galaxy S26. Now these are talking about the camera specs. So it looks like for the S26, we're going to be getting the same camera setup. Now this is for the base model as we have had for the 22, 23, 24, 25. So it's starting to be a repeated record here, especially at least with the camera setup here. So the same 50 megapixel camera, 1.56 aperture, 12 megapixel ultra wide camera again, and then the telephoto camera as well, also 10 megapixels. So again, the same camera as on the S22. So you would think that looking at these numbers, the camera will not be improving, but of course there are changes under the hood in terms of AI software that actually makes taking your cameras better and your pictures better. But is that really enough to really challenge other manufacturers out there who are actually improving not only the hardware but also the software as well to give you a better camera experience than what Samsung is doing? But it looks like Samsung doesn't really care about that. They're just going to continue with the same lineup for the camera as well. So let's continue on here. Cameras are only one part of the equation though, as Samsung has rehashed and repackaged many features of its Galaxy S and S Plus for years now, barely giving them a cosmetic lift and some minor upgrades to warrant studying them again under a new name. So if you look here at the Galaxy S26 versus the S25, compared to the leaks here, you see the display. We're getting a 0.1 bump up in size, 2600 nits, so the same brightness, the same refresh rate. Obviously the Elite Gen 5 will be the new chip, but again, RAM, storage is now, the base is now 256 as opposed to 128. So finally stepping up there with that. But again, the camera setup, everything is the same. 4300 milliamp battery. Again, we all know what is up with Samsung in its battery. They're not in any hurry to increase the size of their battery, as we all know why. So not going to rehash that. It seems like every time I talk about Samsung phone or video, the battery or the milliamps always come up because their battery sizes are paltry compared to everybody else out there. We've seen obviously everybody else is already at 60, 6,500, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, even 10,000 milliamp batteries are on the horizon, but you will not get that from Samsung. And obviously charging and everything's the same. They managed to shrink the phone just a little bit, the thickness down to 6.9 millimeters. But let's keep going here. I guess the question we have to have here is, the Galaxy S26 Plus has literally no reason to exist. And if you look at the specs on this one here, the S25 versus the S26, again, same screen size, same brightness, same refresh rate. Again, a bump up with a Snapdragon Gen 5. Again, RAM, storage, the same. Cameras, the same. Battery, the same. Charging, same. Weight is a little bit heavier. That's probably because of the probably some cooling mechanisms they have to add for the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, which actually requires more cooling. And then the thickness is still the same. So not much of a difference between the two phones. Again, it does beg the question, why does it exist? Well, obviously they have to put one out there every year to match and get that money, because some people will go out there and buy it, especially if you're coming from a phone that's probably 3 or 4 or 5 years older. Then yes, I could say that would warrant an upgrade. But again, we have seen this happen with Samsung for years, as I made a number of videos and I've complained about Samsung, especially making innovation, because I am a foldable user, and the foldable, what, 3, 4, 5 are pretty much all the same, 6, a little bit of a difference, and then 7, they finally made some changes, and then I went out there because I had the 5, skipped the 6, and then I went to 7. But this is what Samsung is doing. This is where Samsung is right now. They are not trying to push the envelope across the board in every area right now. So they're just going to continue to go out there with the same phone, same specs. And again, because the sales say otherwise, they don't have to make many changes, as people will still go out there and buy the phone and push them as the #1 Android maker, despite the fact that a lot of other Android manufacturers are not only getting on the heels, but surpassing them in many areas and specs. That I already talked about the battery. Some of them are, you know, obviously with the MediaTek chipset, which is also gaining ground on the Snapdragon Elite Gen 5. So there are some competition out there. We'll see how long Samsung can get away with this. So 26 will be interesting for the Galaxy S26 lineup, but I think they put all their bags, in the S26 Ultra phone. So, but that is their big one. That is their money maker. But we will see how that goes for Samsung in the next year. But let me know what you guys think about that down below. Are you upset with Samsung for keeping the same paltry specs and dimensions for the phone every year? Or this does not bother you, you're still going to buy one anyway? Drop down in that comment section and let me know. Once again, thank you for taking time out to watch this video. Again, if you enjoy tech news and love staying up to date with the latest tech news, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, if you have friends or family that enjoy these type of videos, make sure you share this with them, as they may enjoy this as well. And if you want to stay up to date and for even more videos and for even more tech news in video form, check out one of these 2 videos right here. Until next video, guys, stay nerdy.